smoking a lot of dope pot, and I've been showing Kalle a lot of conspiracy videos, a lot of Christian stuff, a lot of flat Earth stuff, a lot of just people who deny the public consensus and everything, and then Kalle asked me like, why are you doing this? Like, can we not just chill? I don't want to watch this fucking wacko dude talking. And I don't know, I kind of had to defend myself, and we were talking about it makes sense because you are, I don't know, from an epistemological standpoint of being skeptical and all those values, it just makes sense to question what you are being told, and it is whether or not the person you're listening to is convincing, it's a valuable exercise in and of itself. I guess we were trying to conclude.
I think you can also think of it as like an antidote to brainwash, right? Like, or it is brainwash. Like if you watch all these conspiracy videos about how Earth is flat, it is sort of brainwash. But if you are one of those people who believe that in this society we get a lot of brainwash all the time, then you can think of this as your antidote to the standard brainwash. So you're actually emancipating your mind from the government propaganda or whatever.
But still with a different ideology, or another, kind of. You could say you could. The position seems very one-sided. It's just a anti-thesis, or it's very predictable still. But I don't know. In that context, I wanted to present to you one of my ideas that I've been forming in my mind lately, and it's. I want you to tell me if you could diagnose me with schizophrenia, or if you find this as a valuable idea. So I don't know. I think the way I approach this is I'm gonna combine Jung and Kant. And then Jung is all about the unconscious and the unseen forces in a certain way, and of what you literally don't perceive in the conscious mind is also what he defines it as. And and another term he has is projection, right? Where you know about it, where you push your unconscious psychological content onto the other person, and so I think one of the takeaways from that is that with your own mind you actually are distorting reality in a certain sense, right? And you might perhaps literally see this person differently, feel about them differently, think about them differently, or it's creating a literal kind of, you could almost say, distortion within your vision, right? And okay, combine this with the Kant's idea of the noumena, right? Or the
thing in themselves.
The thing in themselves, right? The thing that you can't reach because all you see is the phenomena. And the way I explain this idea the best is this idea that light doesn't you don't directly perceive the world from your standpoint and out. You don't you take in the world in a certain sense, because light goes into your eyes and then gets translated into the brain and becomes this image. So I think those two ideas combined, if you had to name it metaphysically as like a worldview, the way I would describe it is it's a good title for this podcast perhaps, is caps locks. You are living inside your own mind. You know, but the way I visualize this when I say that sentence is kind of like that the whole world, like the literal globe and the spinning solar system and everything is actually kind of inside in a certain sense. I heard about Jung. He wrote in a passage in the Red Book that the unconscious is as infinite and big as the universe. I don't know if that idea brings anything to mind. I will greatly appreciate.
I mean, it's like Schelling. He says, I think, if I understand him right, that our all of us who perceive the world are subjects. We are how objectivity gets to witness itself. So, if you think about everything in the world, all the things are things, and some of them are also.
Say that. What did Schelling say? We are subjects perceiving.
Subjectivity is how objectivity comes to witness itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're like the mirror of the eye of God shining through the object and looking, perceiving itself. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. But sorry, I cut you off. What was?
I don't know. The way he sort of argues it is that some people say that you should start by examining objective things, material. So it's like if we want to understand how we think, we should measure the brain and what it does, and then analyze that. And once we figure out objectively what it's doing, we can understand our subjectivity. But some people say you should start the other way around and say, well, what's perceiving these images of the brain? Right? That's subjectivity, so that's the basic one. You should start by explaining, mind, before you can explain science, objective science, right? So you have these two starting points, and I think Schelling's idea is to say that both of them are real. No, they don't make sense without each other.
Yes.
Because when we often have this suspicion that our mind is distorting the world, right? But what's maybe really remarkable is that it's working at all. That's the miracle. It's actually pretty good at representing what's out in the world. I don't walk into things. Right? Because my sensory apparatus has given me a proper understanding of where they are. Yeah. So it's like mind is made to be in tune with the world. Right? They're meant to mirror each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I have a lot of thoughts, but it's hard to explain.
Yeah. So meantime, you could play a little jingle.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Conversation. I'm gonna try to keep it going, but it's far out. But what I'm thinking is this crazy theory of reality, basically, that I just produced to you. The fact that I think I could present it to anybody, and they wouldn't definitively just say no, that's wrong because this and blah, blah, it's such a wacko out thing that the fact that it could be true and that I'm conscious of it gives me the courage to be authorities like not anti-authoritarian, right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the case.
But I think that's interesting. So how do you derive courage from having a worldview? Like you have a conviction. Like some people, let's say some people are Christians, right? And somehow they probably derive some courage from that. You know, maybe the story of Jesus inspires them. You know, if he could suffer like that, then I can do it too, or something.
Yeah.
Right. But you have to really believe in it in order for that to happen, right? Or is it okay? Can you derive courage from a fictional story in the same way? If you don't really believe it happened, or if you don't really believe in this worldview, can you still derive courage from it?
Yeah. I don't know, man, but like to me, one of the superior approaches to all this religion and idea kind of stuff is always like what are the physical benefits of the organism, and then like how are you promoting that in a certain way, or like this idea that like a lot of people say that you can choose to believe whatever you want to believe, so why not believe something that gets you out of bed or something. And I think a lot of people are aware of that, and so they make up these little delusions in their mind. And I don't know, I used to have a friend and we worked out together, and he said, if I can't do this last set on the bench press, God is gonna kill me. So I just have to. It was these like, it was his
superstitions.
Yeah, exactly.
But then a lot of the people who are like in a religion, let's say, they argue that there's a difference between what they believe and superstition. Right, and then you can just redefine, you know, if you, for example, say you believe in God, you can define God as the soul that is in everything, or universal love, or something, right? And then believe in that thing, and then say that that's God, if you like, right? But I don't know. I think there is a limit somewhere.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
It's like this question, you know, do you think the Pope takes the Bible literally?
No, I think he's well versed in the analytics of it.
But what do you think? Like I watched this movie called The Two Popes. That was a dramatization of when like Benedict abdicated. I think it was in 2012. He was the first pope in like 800 years to abdicate, like to say I'm not going to be pope anymore.
Okay.
And then they had to find a new guy, and this movie is like a fictionalized version of that conversation, right? The old and the new pope.
Okay.
And it sort of indicates that he lost faith.
Okay. Wow.
And that's why he abdicated, right?
Okay.
I don't know if that's the truth, but
that's some good atheist propaganda, brother.
Well, it's interesting, this idea of faith, right? Like, if you don't have it, it's not real. Like you wouldn't, if you were a person who went to the priest or into the temple somehow, you wouldn't want the priest to not have faith, right?
Yeah.
Then it's like fake. But and then there is the question, you know, like how does the Pope believe, right? Or whoever is in charge, you know.
Yeah, I think like no way the Pope is not familiar with some Kabbalah and some some esoteric shit, you know, and some of that, some of those ancient Greek stuff that most people don't know about, you know, some of the, like, surely he would have read, like, he probably knows Greek, right, the Pope, and Latin. And
he certainly knows Latin.
yeah.
I don't know if the new one knows Greek, but I think so. Yeah, no, they have to read a lot, you know, to...
Yeah, it's like, which monastic order is the Pope part of? Is it the Jesuits?
No, I don't think this one, right now, the new one, is part of any monastic order. But it has happened in the past. There's also, in the Catholic Church, there's this, the monastic orders, sometimes behave rather autonomously, and so it's, you don't want to give too important offices to monastics, because their loyalties might be more to the monastic order than to the pontificate, the Vatican. Right?
Yeah. I think we should infiltrate
the last pope, by the way, to abdicate before Benedict. That was in the 1100s. He was Celestine the 4th or the 6th. I'm not sure. He was a Franciscan hermit that they picked to be the pope. Because they couldn't find, they couldn't agree on any like standard candidates. And then he was pope for 8 months, but he made reforms that they didn't like, so they forced him to abdicate. And then the radical Franciscans, they said for many years after that every pope since, like that Celestine's abdication was invalid, and every pope since then had been the Antichrist.
Nice.
And then they had to go into exile, or 4 of them got burned at the stake in 1504.
Wow. Maybe that's true, man. All the popes are Antichrist. There's in this Dostoevsky novel, Brothers Karamazov, the smart brother, I forget his name. He tells the story of Jesus coming back in our time, and how they ended up putting him in a prison cell, like they did at his time, and then he tells like a story of the priest coming to visit Jesus in his cell, and saying like, yeah, we don't need you anymore, bro. Like we got this, you know. Like we were pretty good at this church shit, and we got people believing, and like we really don't need you to mess it up all and then I don't know. After that, he leaves the door. He goes out, but he leaves the door open for Jesus to walk out if he wants to. But that's the story.
Oh yeah, because if he doesn't die, it's not the story of Jesus, right?
Yeah.
So it's like in the Gospel of Mark, Jesus has to choose it for himself to be crucified. He knows all the way that he's going to be crucified.
Yeah.
But he's scared too. Like in the Garden of Gethsemane, he prays to God that he doesn't want to do it, but then he decides to do it anyway. Because that's the divine plan, right? So I guess when the priest leaves the door open, it's like he can choose not to let himself be sacrificed again.
Yeah.
Then he has to ask himself, is there any point to going through with it?
Yeah. Yeah. But okay, I want to stay with the biblical, but change it up a little. I want to share something I heard, and it comes to me because you just shared that poem of was it Rumi?
Yeah.
The wine.
Yeah, the many wines.
but it made me think. Someone told me the poem is about hashish as well, but someone told me that Gan, Gan, means garden. We were smoking big joint while he said this, and they were playing Rastafari music just before, and talking the Ja, and Gan Ja, you know?
So
God's
garden.
God's garden, man, you know. And I don't know. I felt like I was smoking like good hash, and then it was like the spirit of God, and then that I don't know. Yeah. And what did that poem say about hashish again? It said something like
God made hashish have the power to derive the taster from consciousness. I think something like that. But I mean, it's a poem where he describes the many ways of having ecstasy, right? Like ecstasis is a Greek word that means standing outside. So you're sort of outside of yourself, in a sense.
Yeah.
And then he describes several ways to do that, and he gives advice on how you can tell which ones are good. And I like this line in it. So it's because that's how Jesus gets into the picture. Is that it says, Jesus was lost in his love for God. His donkey was drunk with barley. And I think by barley he means like beer, beer made from barley. So it's like Jesus is drunk on God, or on love, if you like. Yeah. And the donkey has drunk beer, so they're a good couple, each lost in his own ecstasis.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it just wants to eat, right? Barley. I don't know. But it's powerful.
Yeah, and he says that you should. I mean, you can look up the poem yourself. It's quite short. It's translated by Coleman Barks. But he says that you should not use the wines that cause fear. I think that's how he says it. Mm-hmm. Not cause. He uses some other word. You should use the ones unadulterated with fear.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I think let's sit out in the sun here, man. Let's move it a little bit. Okay. I can cut this out at 24. I explained to Kalle my idea, and we talked a little further about it, and he said that basically it's what I'm trying to outline is the Atman, the Buddhist Atman, I guess.
Oh, no, the Atman of like Veda and Upanishad. Buddha, he didn't like the Atman.
Oh yeah.
No, he said it wasn't real.
Yeah.
No, the Atman. Should we talk about the Atman?
Sure.
Yeah. So this is all really complicated, and I'm probably misrepresenting 3,000 years of tradition, by putting it like this. But I'm gonna try to explain it. The Atman is sometimes in like Western interpretations of Indian devotion or spirituality is known as witness consciousness. So it's this idea that if you think about what's really you, then behind everything, behind all these sensory perceptions and thoughts and feelings, there's something that's simply witnessing things happen. And that's Atman. witness consciousness. And what you need to do is find out what that is, retreat into that, then you'll find out what you are. And once you find out that you are Atman, you can sort of go through it and see that Atman and Brahman are the same. And Brahman is the divine everything. So you are identical to that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then, as I understand it, the Buddha comes along and says, no, actually there is no Atman. It's just an illusion. He says, an-Atman, non-self. But yeah.
Yeah, he's. I don't know what you think about the Buddha. Do you think he's speaking the truth of the deeper realizations of the Atman?
It's difficult to tell. I've been trying to figure out what the Buddha said, but there are so many books. So it's hard to figure out what the Buddha actually said, right? But then you can make an imaginary Buddha out of bits of stories, right? That's how it mostly works. So I guess what he said was, no, actually I can't formulate it.
But no, it's something about the interconnectedness of everything, right? And then that leads to such conclusions as like that the self is not real, right? And because you are interconnected with all things, and it goes. I think it kind of riffs on that exact same idea of the Atman and you being that and part of that, and then but he's just perhaps going a step further and just saying like, oh yeah, to begin with, this whole thing is absurd, or I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I think what he's saying is like, there's in Mahayana Buddhism there's this sutra called the Diamond Cutter Sutra. And it talks about the 1,000 negations, and it's about how can you talk about things in a way that's not misleading, because the first thing to realize in this sort of Buddhism teaching is that everything is transient, everything changes all the time. So every time you talk about it, you talk about something that's not really there. So it's absurd. But then how can you still talk about things? And you do that through the 1,000 negations. And it's a very difficult text to sort of very subtle arguments, I would say. But I think it's this that talking about an Atman is like a way to say, okay, but just remember that it's not actually real. This thing you're pursuing. You can still talk about it, just as long as you have performed the 1,000 negations.
But yeah, well, what is it this thing when we say that it's not real?
I don't know. It's an illusion. It's a Maya. But I think it is real. I don't know. This makes no sense.
What is real? Are your immediate sense experiences real?
Yeah. It's all real, man. That's the thing.
Matrix.
Well, I mean, you could say that we're already living in virtual reality, right? This is what Slavoj Žižek likes to say, that reality is like in old video games, where you make, if you have a 3D video game and there's a house, but your character doesn't have to go into the house, then they don't model the inside of that house, right? that this reality has to be perceived to be real thing. Like George Berkeley also said, right?
Yeah, idealist. Yeah, boy. Gonna tell you a little story about the Atman, man. Oh, the world soul, honey. Yeah, hit me with that flute, boy. They say if you meet Buddha on the road, you should kill him and hang him up, tie him up in a little tree and leave him be, little Buddha be. Don't trust the 40s, my brothers. Should we make an armed revolution or not?
It doesn't seem practical,
Yeah.
right?
I think, let's say you just didn't want to work and you just wanted to read your texts and do philosophy all day. Couldn't you just take some land somewhere? Like, I don't know. Like,
do you know where there's any available land?
Yeah, I know a few like people who are squatting around in Aarhus, and we know our friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a possibility. Yeah. But can you think of any good reasons why not to do that?
Yeah, one was I have a friend, Anna in Aarhus, and she's squatting a place, and 10 DSB people came and woke us up one morning.
Okay.
And they were like, "You can't be here." So sorry, we're homeless people. We don't have money. We ended up leaving, but it's a problem you can have. But that's what I'm talking about with armed revolution against the DSP people, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea because, well, not the armed revolution necessarily, but there is a lot of like space in the cities where people could sleep that are not being used there, right?
Yes.
So, I don't know. It's better than people sleeping outside, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Why do you? I guess DSB just doesn't want them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was their plot of land that they weren't using, but it was theirs on the paper.
So this is the question you asked. Can you just go find some land somewhere? But what if all the land is taken up by people like DSB who will come and remove you?
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Fight E Corp, you know?
E Corp? What do you mean?
It's a corporation and Mr. Robot that owns everything.
Okay.
The evil corp.
Ah, yeah, okay.
I don't know. DSP.
But then I guess what you would need would be to get organized, right?
Fight Club. You know, remember I put the posters down here and you talked me out of it. That's not the point of Fight Club. I don't know, man. Maybe it is. You know, he actually does end up succeeding in blowing up all the banks in the monetary system, man. That's pretty good. Yeah, resetting. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, yeah. I mean, that looks very good in the movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't. Somehow, if there are people inside those buildings, right, then they must have gotten really angry. Like, what happens after the final scene in Fight Club? What do you think? What happens to these two characters? You remember the scene? It's like Edward Norton and this Helena Bonham Carter. And they're looking out the window at the buildings blowing up, and then it ends. And he says to her, "You met me at a very weird time in my life."
Yeah, exactly.
But then, what do you think if it didn't roll to credits? If it kept going, what's the next thing that would happen?
I don't know. They probably get arrested.
Yeah, I think people is coming together.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And somehow, you know, I think the system remains in place.
Yeah.
But obviously, I mean, I see that it's a metaphor, right? He wants to take down the whole system, right?
Yeah. Perhaps he does right after you don't know how organized he is or how many
are in his movement.
Yeah, how many men are like secretly angry like that and wanting to be part of that, like, because they So.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have riots, right? In cities. Guess it's kind of similar. People are unhappy with something and they go out and express that very forcibly, shall we say.
Have you been part of demonstrations?
Yeah, but I have not been in any riots.
No. Me neither.
I don't know, somehow it doesn't seem that useful, right? Like, you get a lot of destruction, but things don't really change, right? But what else are you gonna do if you can't express your viewpoint?
Yeah, we have to make propaganda instead.
Yeah.
Peace propaganda.
Yeah, this, this peace sign, the circle with the line through it and two lines to the at an angle at the bottom of it. You know the one, right? The peace sign. Yeah. That was designed by Bertrand Russell.
Analytical
and
philosophy.
he based it on the signaling flags that you use at sea. You hold them at certain angles, and it says ND, the letters N and D, which is supposed to be short for nuclear disarmament.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you hear this. It's like Hegel said that peace is the empty pages in the history books, or something like that. The point is that people only write history about conflict. So peace is not interesting historically. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
And you heard of this idea, right? This war that accelerates peace. Peace is just, stasis in civilizational history.
Yeah, I can see that. But you also have like the golden ages of culture and arts and music and stuff like that.
Yeah. This argument, right? Somehow the wars or the conflicts make the people compete so they get better, more advanced.
Yeah.
Or if you're dystopian about it, they're more destructive towards the earth or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and then war can also be seen as a way to destroy resources and make resources valuable again. Like, because if we have too much of it, it's, I don't know, we gotta extract the oil and the gold and all that. We have to destroy some buildings and make some weapons and produce something and just do something to pay and make the money.
Yeah, build pyramids.
Yeah.
Too many people not doing anything, right? You have to get them to do something. Maybe stack some rocks.
Yeah.
So they eat some more grains.
Yeah.
So the peasants have something to harvest.
Yeah, what is that impulse to more, to keeping the economy alive and to you think it's addiction, yeah?
Well, I mean, the other argument is the one in Plato Laws, the beginning of the Laws, where he says that it's because everybody's in conflict with everybody else, in an implicit conflict, so you have to have more than the other guys in case you have to fight them.
Yeah, it's competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
Between states and between clans and between people, and so everybody has to accumulate those resources. And make good laws.
Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe, but you can make the other argument, right? That humans are sort of. It seems that it's natural for us to live together in communities. So that's not really being an enemy, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a combination. Yeah.
Like there's this famous definition by Aristotle that humans are the political animals, animals that live in polises, which is something between, translates to either city or state, depending on the context, right?
But yeah, I think the police just facilitates more ways of survival, right, and strategies thereof, right? More complex beings and so forth.
So it's sort of a union of egoists who temporarily put their enmities aside, right, to work together for the benefit of each.
No, obviously there's another dimension to it, or the fact that we actually gain great pleasure from doing so as well, and like our whole being is wired to it, so we're not just that ego, like. But still, yeah, like we are together, because of that. Yeah, we enjoy it too, but it like, yeah, we killed all the wild, crazy animals that tried to hunt us here, and now we have big houses and families and kids playing everywhere, and there's no wolf that's gonna come and eat our kid, and we have lots of food and everything we need. I don't know. It is the police is like meant to ward off the enemies and the bad things.
To keep the people safe also.
Yeah.
But it seems then you can sort of think of it like this, that the police is like a protection racket, like the mafia, who goes around to people and says, I have some tough guys, I'll protect you if you pay me, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't pay me, maybe I trash your place.
Yeah. That's certainly a view you can have.
And then it's the thing is that, okay, but where does that come from? Either it's because, like, there's one argument that it's natural that there should be hierarchies like that, and relations of power, where somebody forces somebody else to do something, because otherwise everything will be chaos, right? But you could also say that, well, it seems that somehow we have a tendency to organize gangs or tribes or whatever, some sort of like gang. I think like a gangster organization is a good analogy, right? Somebody who are willing to set normal rules of behavior aside in order to get what they want, and they're ready to get very organized about it.
Yeah.
But then I'm assuming some set that of normal rules of behavior, and who knows what the fuck that is,
Do you believe in the Illuminati, Kalle? Or
do you want the boring answer?
No, I just mean, do you believe in secret societies that would like to have a lot of power and influence?
Well, obviously there are secret societies, and secret societies may be like not a very exact term. It's like there are many secluded spaces where people gather and talk about things, and there are some clubs like Masonic lodges that where people get together, and the point is that the conversation will not leave the house. So it's a convenience for them. And they don't keep it secret that they exist. It's just, it's a place where you can go to talk to people without anybody telling what's being said. And if you have powerful people there, in some sort of club like that, then obviously they're gonna keep some big secrets.
I think we should become Masons, Kalle. You mean infiltrate?
Yeah, but this is what esotericism is, right? It's keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And like mystery cults also in this way. It's very interesting this what you keep secret and what you leave open as an organization.
Yeah.
Like the Scientology, you have to go through many steps to get access to the sacred texts, which turns out to be science fiction by L. Ron Hubbard. And there are like the Adurus people in Lebanon, the Syria. They also have some esoteric texts that you have to go through.
Have you read it?
So
Is it
no,
published? Is it like
not the Adurus texts? Those are not published. You have to be a priest.
L. Ron Hubbard sci-fi?
Yeah, somebody leaked it. Somebody
leaked.
who
You've read it?
Yeah, I've read some of it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, what does it say?
Well, it's you'd like it. It's an alien story.
Nice.
About how life on Earth came to be. But this was supposed to be esoteric.
What did you get from it?
Well, that he believes in he sort of believes in the subsistence of souls, right? So there are these souls of people who were, or beings that lived on Earth in previous times that were sacrificed into a volcano, and their souls come to haunt us now and lead to suffering in our lives, and you have to sort of detect them and make them go away. This, I think, is the theology, as I understand it.
Okay.
And but it describes sort of the war and the reason why they were sacrificed. It's like wars between different kinds of aliens.
Yeah. Like the eternal good versus the eternal bad.
I don't know. It's rather strange. Yeah, you read it sometime. But I don't know, maybe it's fake. Who knows?
I believe him. Like Tom Hanks.
Is Tom Hanks a Scientologist?
No, what's his name?
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. I don't know. But it sure is interesting to read about that. I like that. Oh, yes. Yep.